Miss Leslie is appearing as a sovereign citizen before the court, and the court, once again.
I object to any of that derogatory. It's very biased.
I corrected him. He walked away.
Would you stop talking, please?
Sure. I just think this is unfair.
Would you stop talking, please?
I still have my citation from last time. I'm still going.
About citation from last time. Get out of the vehicle. You're under arrest. Plus the fucking window. I don't give a shit.
I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. You hurt me. You hurt. I have glass in my shoes. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong.
Unlock the car, okay?
I just have glass in my shoes, so I'm trying to shake them out. I just have glass in my shoes, so I'm trying to shake them out.
That's
alright, I think that's okay.
You want me to take them off? That way you get the glass out?
That's alright, I think I got it. And I'm on my period and I don't have a tampon in, so I might bleed. And I'm on my period and I don't have a tampon in, so I might bleed on your stuff.
He'll clean it.
I don't understand why I'm being arrested. And you just don't talk to me or even answer my questions. I didn't do anything. I've never even been arrested in my life. You guys are the evil people. We're just trying to help you. You should be helping us. Protecting and serving, remember? I'm in the back of a cop car right now. They're arresting me, and I think they're going to be arresting Matthew. They told me I'm a sovereign citizen. That's what they asked me if I was. And they're not listening to anything. There are at least 3 cops here.
Are you going to give me your name? You're going to sit at the jail until they identify you either way, so it doesn't make a difference to me.
You're not answering my questions.
I don't have to answer your questions. You answer my questions.
I thought you protect and serve us. You serve us.
Now you're breaking the law.
How am I breaking the law?
You're interfering in my investigation.
What what?
I'm asking you to identify yourself. That's it. That's how this all started. This could have went
No,
way
you didn't.
easier.
No,
Yes,
you
it
called
was.
me a sovereign citizen. That's what you did.
But what are you?
What? I'm a human being. What are you?
Okay.
I'm not a sovereign citizen like you tell me I am.
Okay.
That's not okay to say. Yeah, my back hurts so bad and it has glass in it.
Okay.
You broke my window for no reason. You're threatening me and you're arresting me for no reason at all. For just being human. Can't I just ride? Can't I just travel on the roads? Can't I travel on the roads for free? That's how we are supposed to be alive.
Driving is a privilege and not a right.
No. Driving, wait.
Driving is a privilege and not a right. If you want free
yeah, I'm not
travel, then you
driving.
can walk.
I'm not driving.
Okay.
Hey, wait. God damn it.
Hello?
Hey, they broke the window and they arrested me and Matthew too. So I'm just in the back of the cop car and they they busted the window and it shattered all over me. So that's what's happening right now. And also I'm not going to be able to talk to my son. And I'm trying to text Ken right now to tell him that.
How do you have your phone?
I had it around my neck. I put it around my neck on my lanyard.
Okay, put it on record. Don't worry about me. Call us when you.
I have my recorder on though too. I have my everyth's on me.
Was it Butler County or was it Andover?
I don't know. They didn't tell me. I think
Okay.
Andover.
What's the car look like?
He's a corporal. His number is 51. I think it's I don't know. There's 3 cops, sheriffs, or there's a corporal, and then Matthew is on his motorcycle, and I think that's about to get impounded. My car's gonna get impounded. Probably.
Ask them if I can come Ask them if someone can come pick it up.
Okay, but they won't listen to me. They just keep shutting the door in my face and telling me that I'm a sovereign citizen.
You rarely meet someone generous enough to garnish their word salad with crumbs before handing it over. Sadly for you, I've completely lost my appetite.
Okay.
But I'll try if they come back. I'm at, it says Andover Public Schools USD 385 support services.
Yep, I know where you're at. Okay. Give us another case number out here for the...
Okay, I'm gonna text Ken because I have to get off. Or I don't even know if I can get off of here. I tried to get my phone.
Just leave it on. Just leave it on.
I'm just.
Just leave it on.
Okay.
Rush traffic.
Oh, they're coming back.
Yeah, just leave it on. I want to hear. Don't pretend you don't.
Well, I'm on the speaker with you, but I'll dang it, he just left, and I was gonna ask him if you could come, but he's so mean. Am I allowed to get somebody to pick up my car? Because I'm assuming you're just gonna.
We're gonna tow it.
Well, can I have somebody pick it up?
Nope.
Why not?
That vehicle cannot be operated on.
It's not a vehicle. It's my automobile. It's my private conveyance.
Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent, so I suggest you use that, okay?
Where am I going? You haven't even told me.
Going to the jail.
I'm going to what jail? What jail am I going to? You can't answer that question?
I'll be 10:15.
He doesn't answer any of my questions.
CJ.
I don't even know where I'm going. How do I know if you're not kidnapping me? Because you are. You are kidnapping me. I didn't do anything wrong.
For now.
Can you please tell me where I'm going? Sir.
You're going to Butler County Detention Center.
Butler County Detention Center.
Yep.
And why am I going there?
For interference.
For interference for what? What did I interfere with?
For driving a vehicle with no registration,
I'm
no
not-
insurance.
I'm not driving.
Okay.
I have a
Whatever
right.
you want to call it.
Well, I have a right to go on public roadways when I'm not acting in commerce. I'm not an Uber driver or Lyft. That's why you guys administer licenses to people, because it's otherwise a crime if you don't. That's when it's a privilege, and I don't have that. I'm not using it as a privilege. I'm using it as my right. What's happening to the person I was with? Can you answer me that, please? Sir? What happened to the free person that was on the side of the road that helped me, that was coming to my rescue? Because you guys didn't. What did you arrest him for? Because I saw him in handcuffs.
Don't have the same
I saw him in handcuffs. Why did you arrest him? What did he do wrong?
arrest. He's being detained.
Well, it isn't being detained under arrest if you're not free to go. If you're not free to go, then that means you're under arrest. So if you put him in handcuffs, so what's detained mean? Do you know that term? Do you know anything? You don't know, you didn't tell me what traffic meant. You just busted my windows, causing me harm and trauma and irreparable harm.
You can try to argue with the judge about all you want, okay?
So you guys are just the kidnappers, and you're the pirates, huh?
6, I'll be out. 30.
Quentin, can you try to call Matthew? Where am I going? What are you stopping for?
Give me your phone.
Why?
Give it to me.
Why?
Give me your phone. Where's it at?
It's on my neck, but why?
You're not allowed to be using the phone.
Why not? Because you're kidnapping me and being a
your hair.
villain?
Watch your hair.
Who said? Where's your policies? No, that's mine. You're taking my private property now.
Boo fucking who, Karen? If you don't like it, then you can file your grievances with the manager, Judge Hart.
Next case, State of Kansas versus Sydney Taylor Leslie, 25 CR 250. Good afternoon, Miss Leslie. Miss Leslie, you're charged by way of information on or about May 21, 2025 in Butler County, Kansas, with interference with law enforcement, a Class A non-person misdemeanor. Count 2, same date and location, no proof of insurance, a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Same date and location. Count 3, no driver's license in possession, an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. Though, then count 4, same date and location, failure to register vehicle, an unclassified non-person misdemeanor. And Miss Leslie, do you understand the charges pending against you?
I comprehend the alleged charges against me.
Thank you, Miss Leslie. Miss Leslie, you do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney. Pardon me?
Excuse me, I was going to say that I comprehend the certain statutory allegations that have been made against me, but I cannot and do not admit to understanding or accepting the jurisdiction of this court over my person or the subject matter absent proof of corpus delicti and a verified complainant from an injured party. To do so would constitute a waiver of fundamental rights, which I explicitly refuse to waive pursuant to KSA subsection 60-212 in the doctrine of special appearance recognized in Kansas jurisprudence.
Put simply, whatever personal label you choose is irrelevant. The court will identify you as a sovereign citizen when your filings, arguments, and courtroom claims come directly from the Sovereign Citizen Playbook.
You do have the right to counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, one would be appointed to represent you. And Miss Leslie, are you currently employed?
For the record, Your Honor, just to start from the beginning, I, Sydney Taylor Leslie, appearing specially and not generally in propria persona, sui juris, as a living woman and not as a legal fiction or corporate entity. I reserve all rights without prejudice pursuant to KSA subsection 84-1-308 and UCC 1-308. Let the record reflect that my appearance today is under explicit protest and duress and solely for the purpose of challenging jurisdiction and preserving my unalienable rights as secured by the Constitution for the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Kansas. And Your Honor, before these proceedings advance further, I must respectfully challenge this court's jurisdiction in toto and move for immediate dismissal of all charges. I hereby invoke the burden-shifting doctrine established in State v. Shepard in 2009 and State v. Seams in 2004, which places the affirmative burden upon the prosecution to establish by sworn non-hearsay allegations within the four corners of a valid charging instrument that every element of the alleged offense and my commission thereof has been properly established. The threshold matter of jurisdiction must be adjudicated prior to any other proceedings. As articulated in Ex parte Young in 1908 and recognized by the Kansas Supreme Court, jurisdiction is the fundamental prerequisite to all jurisdictional proceedings. The legal maxim ex injuria just non autora, law does not arise from injustice, applies to these proceedings in their entirety.
Okay, and the court finds that Miss Leslie is appearing as a sovereign citizen before the court, and the court once again.
I object to any of that derogatory. It's very biased. I move for immediate dismissal on those grounds. And
Court overrules the motion for dismissal of the case.
Court
overrules dismissal of the
prejudice
case.
And
the court will find that Miss Leslie, that the court does find it has jurisdiction to proceed, and subsequently the court
I
sets your next
object. You
appearance
called me
date.
a sovereign citizen. I object. You called me a sovereign citizen.
Yes, ma'am.
That is prejudice and bias.
No prejudice or bias is asserted as to yourself. However, the court, as opposed to trying to write down docket notes to that effect, is just recognizing what you are advising the court, that the court has no jurisdiction over you, and based on your statement made to the court. Subsequently, the court does find you've posted a $3,000 cash bond. $3,000 cash bond has been made. Court does accept the same, and the court does schedule this matter next before Judge Webster on Monday, August 11, 2025 at 9 a.m. Monday, August 11, 2025, 9 a.m. before Judge Webster. Once again, Monday, August 11, 2025, 9 a.m. before Judge Webster. You do need to participate by Zoom process at that point. Subsequently, the court finds that Miss Leslie has not requested court-appointed counsel. Court does not appoint counsel at this point. The court does find that she has posted bond in the amount of $3,000 cash, $3,000 cash bond, and the court has scheduled her next appearance date before Judge Webster on Monday, August 11, 2025 at 9 a.m. Any other matters to come before the court, Mr. Sweeney?
No, Your Honor.
And Miss Leslie?
Your Honor, my jurisdictional challenge is predicated upon multiple independent grounds, each sufficient to warrant dismissal. First, I challenge personal jurisdiction pursuant to Kansas Rule of Civil Procedure. I appear specially, not generally, and have not consented to this court's jurisdiction. The record before this court is devoid of evidence establishing proper jurisdiction over my person as a living woman rather than a legal fiction or corporate entity, as distinguished in Hale v. Hinkle in 1906, and recognized in Kansas jurisprudence. Second, I challenge subject matter jurisdiction pursuant to Kansas Rule of Civil Procedure 60-212, B1. No verified complainant from any injured party has been filed as required by KSA subsection 22-2301 in Butler County Local Rule 3.1. The perpetrated charges arise from actions of agents of the state acting under a color of law, not from a legitimate controversy between adversarial parties withstanding as required by Article 3 jurisprudential principles adopted by Kansas courts in State ex rel. Morrison versus Celebius. Third, I challenge territorial jurisdiction. The alleged incident occurred after I had ceased operating my conveyance and was exercising my unalienable right to travel, placing it outside the territorial jurisdiction of traffic enforcement under KSA subsection 8-244, which by its plain language applies only to licensees who have voluntarily entered the regulatory framework.
No, that statute does not support your argument because you're quoting it incorrectly. It criminalizes refusing to show a license when an officer lawfully requests one.
Fourth, the prosecution cannot establish the corpus delicti of the alleged offenses. As held by the Kansas Supreme Court in State v. Stern in 2015, the corpus delicti rule serves as a safeguard against convictions based on false confessions or statements. One cannot interfere with a peace officer absent of officer's lawful execution of duties. Where the initial detention was unlawful, as it was here due to lack of probable cause, there can be no derivative crime or of interference. Fifth, the refusal to provide identification is not a crime in Kansas, absent specific statutory circumstances not present here today. This is in support by Brown v. Texas in 1979. The Supreme Court held that detaining a person solely to obtain identification violates the Fourth Amendment absent reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. The principle has been recognized and applied by Kansas courts. In one moment, please, while I gather another statement. Okay, and another thing is, and this is, may it please the court, for the record, I must now enter an oral objection and motion for disqualification of the presiding judicial officer pursuant to Kansas Rule 2.11 of the Code of Judicial Conduct, as well as controlling principles under the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. During a prior proceeding specifically, specifically
This court referred to me by the term sovereign citizen, a pejorative classification which carries with its government manufactured implications of extremism, frivolous, and legal irrelevance. This label, unprovoked and unsupported by any factual predicate, constitutes a stigmatizing judicial characterization that violates my right to a neutral and detached tribunal. The use of that term demonstrates either a prejudiced bias or a judicial predisposition toward delegating the substance of my legal posture. As the Kansas Supreme Court has held, even the appearance of partially mandates recusal, and here the record reflects actual prejudice in open court. Wherefore, I respectfully move this honorable court to dismiss all charges with prejudice for lack of jurisdiction, issue a finding that the prosecution has failed to meet its burden of establishing jurisdiction, order the immediate return of all my property seized, including the 251 USD, confiscated and converted to a reloadable Visa card without my consent, order the expungement and permanent sealing of every associated record pursuant to KSA subsection 22-2410, award compensation for the full measure of damages sustained, including costs for my automobile window repair, bail costs, and compensation for unlawful detention and deprivation of liberty, grant such and further relief as this court deems just and proper. The breaking of my automobile window without warrant or probable cause of a search and confiscation of my currency constitutes violations of clearly established rights for which the law provides remedies pursuant to the maxim ubi jus ibi ridiem, where there is a right, there is a remedy. I reserve all rights without prejudice, waive none, and maintain my special appearance for the sole purpose of challenging jurisdiction and preserving my alienable rights as secured by the Constitution for the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Kansas. And thank you for hearing me. I do appreciate you, Your Honor, and thank you for your time.
And once again, matter is set before Judge Webster on Monday, August 11, 2025, 9 a.m. by Zoom. There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess, and have a good day, Miss Leslie.
Thank you, Your Honor.
That leaves one question. Setting aside the lack of education behind these arguments, what convinces you and every other sovereign citizen that you deserve some exemption from law?
Ms. House, please unmute yourself. There we go. This is 25 BE02536. The citation was issued on the 17th day of May at about 5:16 in the PM in the area of Berkeley near Oxford and Stanford Streets. You were cited for disobey a stop sign. You have three options. You can admit or deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. How do you wish to proceed?
Not guilty.
That wasn't one of the options, but put this down as denying responsibility. If you raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
I do.
The officer will testify first, please.
All right, Magistrate, on 5/17/25 of this year, approximately 5:16 p.m., I was just conducting neighborhood patrols down the street of Stanford when I came across Oxford. I observed a 2018 Kia Sportage, red in color, make no attempt to stop at the stop sign that would be eastbound Oxford at Stanford. Went right through the stop sign in front of the patrol vehicle. I then made a traffic stop on the vehicle, observed the plate Boy John George 622, and made contact with the driver, Miss Emily House, I believe, if I mispronounced that name. Right then and there, spoke with the driver and alerted her to the reason for the stop, which was disobeyed the stop sign. As I came back with the citation, Miss House told the officer that she hopes I get shot today after presenting the citation. And I also have the patrol car video of that, or the dash cam, if you're interested in seeing that.
Ms. House, it's your turn.
Awesome. It was Berkeley Day garage sales, not the Berkeley one, but when Huntington Woods has theirs, Berkeley always has
Ma'am,
things.
I'd really like to know what happened
That's why I'm
corner of
explaining. It kind of shows how
Oxford and Stanford.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying my part to how there was people blocking the driveway just a little bit before when I was driving. Like it was pretty busy, and just at that little bit where the Stanford was, there were short shrubs, and the officer, I would say, was more than 2 streets, if not 2.5 streets back. I definitely stopped before, I guess not exactly at the stop sign. With the shrubs, I don't think he possibly saw that, but I slowed down. I guess it wasn't the absolute 3 seconds, but it was enough that I even remember looking left and right and then continued. I remember going 25, going halfway down the street, and then he turned. So that kind of shows how far back he was. And then we were talking, and he said, I ran the red light. I corrected him and said it was a stop sign. And then he walked away and came back with a ticket without any more explanation to where I could talk and say, I kind of think you were wrong here. He was already holding the ticket in his hand, and I was upset, and I said that. I was very frustrated that I could not speak to him, and immediately on correcting him that it was a stop sign that we're talking about, not a stop light, I got issued a ticket, even though what he said was wrong. And this was my first offense ever.
No, ma'am, it was your first offense that you've ever been cited for.
I've never been pulled over. The only
That's what I
time
said.
was pulled over is when I was 16. When I
If you
forgot
listened to what I'd said, you wouldn't be contradicting me.
But being reminded to turn on the lights from turning on to Woodward is not doing anything wrong, because as I
So you have been stopped.
the lights were turned on.
So
Like
you have been
that's one
stopped.
small thing when I was 16. I'm 26 now, and there's been nothing for 10 years, while some people have issues back to back. I think that does say something, sir.
And some people tell policemen they hope they get shot today. I have never, ever heard of such egregious conduct by a driver.
Sometimes I thought it was very wrong that I wasn't able to say anything.
Unbelievable. You're trying to
I think
justify.
it's unbelievable that he said something wrong. I corrected him, then I don't get to say, I get slapped with a ticket for saying we're talking about the stop sign here. I don't think that's fair either.
I'm going to stop a second because I want to deal with what you've said. You've talked about the area being pretty busy. You've talked about the fact
earlier that day due to the garage sales.
I'm trying not to interrupt you. I would wish that you would at least comport yourself as an average, courteous person.
Yes, and a courteous person would understand the situation, and the situation was busy prior due to the garage sales, and that's why I was in the area, because I just bought my house. I'm low income looking for items. I am setting the scene for why I was there, and I did not run the stoplight. This area was not busy.
There was no stop
things on the side of the road.
You've told us that there was no stop light there. Now you're telling us that
he was saying it was a stop light. It is not.
You just did the same thing.
But it's
exactly the same thing. Now you testified that the officer was.
Hey, it's a stop sign that we're talking about.
Would you slow down the mouth a bit?
The's nothing to
slow down. Talking,
you're trying to set the scene.
Stop
you're
talking.
My words saying stops light. I corrected him. He walked away.
Would you stop talking, please?
Sure. I just think this is unfair.
Would you stop talking, please?
Finally, I was beginning to think your noise machine would never pause long enough for the judge's words to reach you. You attacked the officer for accidentally calling a stop sign a stoplight.
You testified that the officer was 2 to 2.5 streets back, and therefore he couldn't see you. Okay. How is it that you could see him and he can't see you?
Because I remember slowing down and looking left and right. If I fully missed
that wasn't the. You're not responding to the question.
So
I said, if you can see him when he's 2.5 streets away, why is it that you think that he can't see you?
Because they had those nice, smart shrubs all the way across.
We have one-way shrubs. Berkeley's got one-way shrubs. You can see through them, but nobody else can.
That's not what I'm saying, Your Honor.
It
When
is what
there are
you're saying.
short shrubs the size of, I was saying previously, when you slow down to the stop sign, which I did,
You slow down. Okay.
we're looking at half shrubs. He does not see the car edging out. I'm saying I stopped slightly prior, edged out. There was no one there. The cop I saw was 2.5 blocks down. So then I went. I still am going 25. I'm looking at things on the side of the road. It's garage sale. I'm halfway down going the speed limit, and then he turns the corner. That kind of shows how far down he was. It is not one-way shrubs. It is the short shrubs to where you cannot see the Kia leaning up into. And I stopped prior, so I'm stopped, stopped. There's no one there. I go, and there's shrubs at least a good 1.5 feet after that, because they go all the way to the corner. And then when I was honestly, I thought he was going on to Woodward, and I'm like, you're pulling me over, but you were so far back. And then that's what, and then, so after being so far back, and then he was wrong about the stoplight and stop sign, so I correct him with that, and I just get hit. It's like, when, I don't think that's fair.
You know, we've heard this 3 times, but it doesn't get any better with retelling. It's just as illogical every time.
That's what makes me so mad is I remember.
I know your lack of logic would be very frustrating.
And then looking at this side again, so I at least stopped for 2 seconds.
You didn't stop for 2 seconds. You
just
said you slowed down.
Left, right, then left again. That's at least 1.5.
And look both ways.
Yes, and that's what I know. And I looked and I was like, oh, he's all the way down there. I can go. Why would I pull out?
Did you hear what you said? Maybe you should listen to yourself. You said you slowed down and looked.
I saw that he was all the way down there, and I went ahead. Maybe he saw me step on the gas because I was excited because I saw something on the side of the road that I can't even remember what it was. But I remember slowing down, looking this way, saw there was a cop, looking this way, continued going 25, and then made it halfway down the block.
And what you've described is what a driver's legal obligation is at a yield sign. Yield signs have 3 corners and they are yellow. Stop signs have 8 corners and they are red. When you come to a stop sign, it is not your obligation to slow down and look both ways. It is your legal obligation to stop.
And then you look both ways.
You are responsible. The fine is $150. If I could raise the fine, I would. If I could raise the points, I would, but that's not available.
Oh, sounds great.
Your conduct to the officer,
so I guess this meeting's adjourned then. Sounds good.
Unbelievable. That a person who lives in Oakland County would talk the way you do.
I don't have to listen what you have to say since you weren't listening to my side.
Ma'am, I've listened to what you've said at least 4 times. You have just repeated the same illogical.
I slowed down, I stopped, was able to look like there. It wasn't like I was going this way and then while moving, I am halted, looked both ways and continued. How I don't get how he didn't can we see the clip? Can we see the clip from the car? What can he see being all the way down? That's what I'm more intrigued on because I was shocked that he was pulling me over because I was all the way down.
You were shocked because he pulled you and all the other people around you were worse.
I was cruising, listening to my music. So that's why I was like, oh, it's me. You're not going on to Woodward. And he's
cruising, listening to your music. You were looking for
I'm enjoying I just babysat for 5 hours. I'm trying to relax in my Saturday, look for things for my house on the side of the road. That's why I'm like, it's me.
If I can interrupt you for just a second.
I remember stopping.
I want to interrupt you just for a second if you don't mind.
All the way down there. Let me look to my left again.
Stop talking. I want to interrupt you for a second. If you give me a moment, you're responsible. Pay your ticket. We're done.
See ya.
I hope not. At least if you're driving.
Sorry, magistrate.
I hope you get shot today. Can you imagine saying that to a human being?
Yeah, that was the demeanor from the get-go of the traffic stop. So that's why there was no further conversation.
Cheating.
It was also yelled multiple times as she was pulling away. That was the one. She just all the way to Woodward, just everything she could yell at me through the window. So she was a very pleasant person.
You know, I wish kids that are learning to drive could see and watch the traffic court, because they would become more aware of what they're sharing the road with.
Absolutely. And the sad part is it could have went a totally different way. You know, she set the tone for that traffic stop.
Telling you that you hope she gets shot, that's not a great start.
No, I would agree.
But to think those words about another human being, I hope you get shot today.
Yeah.
And she had no remorse whatsoever.
Oh, no. No apologies.
It was my intention, as I reviewed the tickets before I called the case, to give her an opportunity to apologize. I must have been on Space Mountain to think that was a possibility.
Honestly, Magistrate, lately it feels as if everyone has been trapped aboard Space Mountain. Fortunately, our version still maintains some connection to reality, while sovereign citizens and Karens build theirs inside a fantasy kingdom fueled by entitlement-flavored candy. Alright, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's video. As promised, I'll share any future updates involving this Kansas sovereign citizen. If you enjoyed the video, press the like button. If you didn't, use the dislike button. Either way, leave your thoughts in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and switch notifications on so you never miss any new content I release from this channel going forward.